Hey, Mtuchi.
Hey Taylor, how's it going?
Good, good. This thing that you built with
Yeah,
with the developer workflow and time tracking, can you show me this again?
yeah, definitely, definitely. So, remember in Nairobi we had this discussion of how we can improve how we track our estimate versus actuals. So,
Yeah,
in
for so
order-
on engineering issues.
yes, so basically we use ZenHub to code to more like track our issues, and we usually put estimate,
Yep,
and we use Toggl for tracking all the how much time we're spending on those issues. But
yep.
creating a report, it's very painful because you have to come to Toggl and do a lot of filtering to create the report. So what I did, I created this simple workflow that will, every time there's a new entry in Toggl, it will actually create that entry in a centralized database so that you already have the estimate or the issue that you're working on and the actual time that you spent on that issue. Yeah,
So no more manually exporting from Toggl
from
and
Toggl.
reconciling against estimates on GitHub or ZenHub.
Yes, correct. Because it's a very painful process and it takes a lot of time. But using the API that are freely available, so they have their own REST API, and also Toggl have the webhook integration that you can set up whenever there's a new time entry, you
Yep.
get an entry for that thing that you're logging.
You get a
So this
webhook
is how
request, and that's now being sent to OpenFn, and OpenFN is doing all the calculation and staging and all that happening automatically.
Yes, yes. The thing that I've done is I've created a workflow in OpenFN, and I'm using this webhook trigger
Mm.
to listen for any new entry that is happening in Toggl. So on Toggl, they have like this webhook integration where you can
Yep,
set up your webhook. So every time
perfect.
now,
That I
like,
mean, almost every technology has some sort of like webhook event notification.
yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah,
saw even Asana have one. Yeah.
yeah. This is
Awesome.
absolutely fantastic. Can you walk me through the workflow in OpenFN? So just take me through the canvas here.
Yes.
So inspect incoming entry, and then you're branching a bit here. Well, what are you doing there?
Yes, so the biggest thing that I wanted to do is track my estimate on GitHub issues. So almost every issue that I work on have an estimate, but
Mm.
in Toggl, we don't only log for issues that have estimate. We also log for I have a meeting with Tyler and it was about to discuss a certain feature that a client needs. So I need to log that as well. So this branching here is mainly to decide is that entry for a client issue that you're working on,
Got it.
more like
Okay.
on a GitHub issue.
Yeah, yeah.
And if it's a GitHub issue, does it have an estimate? If it doesn't have an estimate, then I send a Slack notification say, hey, you need to add an estimate on that. Then if it's an issue that have an estimate, then I log it to the database. Um,
I love
yeah,
it.
and
So
then
wait, the estimate reminder is actually sending it to Slack.
yes. So say
Great.
I'm working on a certain issue and I forgotten to add an estimate. I'll almost instantly I'll get a notification say, hey, you forgotten to add um, an estimate on
I
this
love
issue
it.
that you
Okay, so sorry. This is. I want to recap this because I want to
have.
publicize the what you've built here. So, the problem is that
Mhm.
in order to run our business effectively, we need good visibility on estimates and actuals for development of these features, right? And
correct.
in order to reconcile estimates and actuals, there are a whole bunch of things that you, the engineer, need to do. And that's like remembering to log your time, setting up the
Yeah.
estimates, then pulling data from the time tracker to actually aggregate the actual, and then comparing the actual against the estimate. And what you've done is by connecting Toggl and Slack and some sort of database here.
Yeah.
And anything else like a GitHub or ZenHub? Are you connecting?
So we are using ZenHub for managing all our issues. So
Mm-hmm.
for looking at the estimate, I'm actually connecting to ZenHub.
To ZenHub. Okay, so Slack, ZenHub, Toggl, and a database. And what are you using for the database?
So for the database, I'm using a Postgres database, and
Okay.
it's a very simple configuration. I think I've opened it here. It's a very simple database. You just have like a table that contain
Cool.
all the things that I've logged from Toggl.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So it's 4 different technologies, and this workflow runs in real time whenever it receives a webhook trigger from Toggl.
Yeah, that's correct.
This is amazing. Okay.
I know, right?
I'm literally going to go post this on LinkedIn. Wait, so maybe last question is ROI, return on investment.
Mhm.
Like obviously having visibility into estimates and actuals in real time is way better than having to go back and calculate it, say every 2 weeks at the end of a sprint.
Yep.
But also I feel like there's a time saving in not having to do that manual calculation. So if you, like in the old days, before you built this workflow on OpenFN, that reconciliation process and that analysis process, how
Mhm.
often would you actually do it, if ever? And how long on average do you think it would take you to do that reconciliation if you're doing it by hand?
Yeah. So we usually, I think for the monthly report, you'll have to set like a
Monthly.
day or two to sit and reconcile between Toggl and
Mm.
the issues that have been closed on ZenHub. And it's a very back and forth. Sometimes Aisha has to ask me, hey, I think you missed adding an estimate on this. I think
Okay, so
something is
actually there are
missing.
like data quality issues that you're getting at with this as well by reminding people to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Because it's very important that
this is
we address
awesome.
and having like a really nice report on that.
Mtuchi, this is great.
Nice, nice.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
I'm
I'm
really
fired up.
excited.
Is there anything else you want to show me about this?
So right now I am doing 2 type of entries. The first one is a GitHub issue, which has an estimate. The second one is
Yeah.
any other kind of entry. It might be a meeting like the one that we're having. Now, the next big thing that I would love to do is actually compare the estimate, not like an estimate, more like compare Google Meet schedule and the actual time that I've spent. So sometimes I have like client meeting that I've already scheduled on
Mm-hmm.
calendar, and then that meeting might take maybe 15 minutes more, but it would be nice
Right.
that to treat that this I've scheduled for 30 minutes, that was my estimate, and then I spent 45 minutes, that's my
I'm with
actual.
you. I'm
Yeah,
with
so
you.
that also right now it's not done. We don't really have access to Google Calendar, but I would love to implement that.
Okay, cool. Is there an API? Is there a Google Calendar API that we could hit?
Yes, they do have an API. I'm waiting for the auth, generic auth to be done so that I don't have
And then you
to,
can set it up. Okay, cool.
yeah, I don't have to.
Mtuchi, this is wonderful.
Thanks.
I'm gonna grab this video and I'll throw it on our YouTube channel. So nothing sensitive in here, I presume.
We only have GitHub issues in most of these
Yeah, cool.
open source project.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. This is so rad. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Taylor.
Bye.
Bye.